Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Born and dead, saved by love. Count my blessings from above. Though in darkness, have no fear. Light will shine on those holding near. They know that sorrow they will pass. For I know in this life there will be something. But remember that love, yes it will. Love will reign. Yeah. Love will reign. Yeah. In my heart, I believe it. Love will reign. Love will reign. Oh, yeah. Love will reign. Yeah. Have a vision. It's clear and plain.
Love Will Reign. We absolutely love that song. It is Kier Coleman Ward's title song from his project, Love Will Reign. I'm Marcus Holmes. And if you are watching us on Facebook Live, on the Marcus R. Holmes page, or any of the love groups that we're attached to on the Love and Stuff community page, if you're on LinkedIn Live, Instagram Live, TikTok Live, Twitch, YouTube events, I hope you will take a moment and click share and tag 5 of your closest friends, connections, subscribers, or followers, 5 of the more popular ones to join us in tonight's discussion. As we come to the close of our month for the show, we want to highlight breast cancer awareness. For 2025, it's estimated that 316,950 women in the United States will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer, and about 59,000, just shy of 59,100 cases of non-invasive or ductal carcinoma will be diagnosed. In 2022, there were approximately 279,000 new female breast cancer cases reported in the United States. The lifetime risk for a woman in the United States of developing breast cancer at some point is about 10%, 1 in every 8. There are over 4 million women in the US living with a history of breast cancer. Breast cancer is the most common cancer diagnosed in women, excluding the multiple skin cancers, and it accounts for 30 to 32% of new female cancer cases each year. The age-adjusted, death rate for female breast cancer was about 19.2 per 100,000 women per year. Death rates, thankfully, have been declining for many groups. And thanks to early detection and improved treatment, we expect to see more declines, but we need more early detection. Black women in the US, their incidence of new diagnosis, the rate for non-Hispanic Black women was about 131.3 per 100,000, compared with about 137.9 per 100,000 for non-Hispanic white women. But think of it that we are only 13% of the population, or thereabout. Although Black women have slightly lower or similar incident rates compared to white women, their mortality rate is significantly higher. Many sources say that Black women are about 38 to 40% more likely to die from breast cancer than white women. In younger women, women under 50, the disparity is even larger. Black women under 50 have about twice the mortality rate as young white women. Black women tend to be diagnosed at a younger median age, and Black women also have a higher incidence of more aggressive forms or subtypes, such as triple negative breast cancer, and they are more likely to be diagnosed at later stages of the disease. The higher mortality rate among Black women is not fully explained by incidence. It has been linked to a combination of factors, including later stage diagnoses, more aggressive tumor biology, and differences in access to timely, high-quality treatment. Hi, I'm Marcus Holmes, and I am the love activist, and I'm advocating that if you love yourself and love your community, if you love your mothers and sisters, aunts and grandmas, uncles and cousins, them, if you love your coworkers, kindred, and acquaintances, in this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I'm asking you to join me in raising awareness so that we can reduce the number of folks that are negatively impacted for outcomes of breast cancer. We want early detection to help us save lives, and early detection requires greater awareness of your body. So tonight, we few of the folks in the Love and Stuff community who are valiant and courageous women who have gone through breast cancer, are going through breast cancer, and they're moving from where they were in recovery to victory. I hope that watching their stories or hearing their stories will help you pick up the phone or send an email or send a text to tell someone, excuse me, that we need to spread the word and slow the spread of cancer and slow cancer happening and increase the good outcomes, some of which you will see tonight. So I hope that you will click share and tag some folks to join us in this. This does have replay content, but I think it's important content for us to share with you tonight. So I hope that you will take some notes and share it widely.
In October 2022, at age 67, Cynthia Horn received devastating news from a routine mammogram: bilateral breast cancer. The diagnosis revealed stage 2 cancer progressing towards stage 3, with tumors in both breasts, an unusual and serious situation requiring immediate attention. Cynthia's response to this life-changing diagnosis exemplified extraordinary courage. With her mother in her mid-90s serving as inspiration, she approached her cancer journey with unwavering faith and determination, refusing to let fear define her path. After delaying mammograms during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and 2021, her screening revealed 2 different types of breast cancer, including aggressive HER2-positive cancer. The discovery that cancer had spread to her lymph nodes made swift treatment essential. Thanks to advances in modern medicine, breast cancer treatment now offers multiple effective options for fighting this disease, particularly when detected before it spreads extensively. HER2-positive breast cancer is an aggressive form that affects about 15 to 20% of breast cancer patients. Thanks to modern targeted therapies like Herceptin, these cases now have much better outcomes when detected early. Genetic testing showed Cynthia didn't carry the hereditary breast cancer gene, though it revealed a potential risk for ovarian cancer, emphasizing the importance of comprehensive screening. Throughout her journey, Cynthia's faith became her foundation, helping her approach each challenge with grace and viewing her medical team as instruments of healing.
And so I appreciate you being so willing to share. And I'm grateful that you accepted my invitation to come and talk about your journey. So tell us a little bit about your family, your parents. Do you have siblings?
Oh, yeah. Well, my mom is 93 years old. She'll be 94 November 2nd, Lord willing. My father is deceased. He went on to be with the Lord at 66 years old.
You got into a diagnosis. I want to ask you to talk through that diagnosis with us. What were you doing at the time? Was it because you had an exam? What happened? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I went for my annual mammogram. That was September 29th. They called me back a few days later, and they said, we need to do a diagnostic. They said it may only be benign, but we saw something and we have to do a diagnostic mammogram, which is a little step further than your regular mammogram, right? So I'm thinking up to because they assured me it's probably just benign. This happens all the time. So they did a diagnostic, and then she said, I have to go see the doctor. Okay, by this time I'm worried, right? So she comes back, the doctor comes, they say, we found a mass, okay, a tumor, sizable mass too. And so I said, well, how? But in essence, they said, we have to do biopsy. So I'm thinking, they said, you only need 2 biopsies. Well, they did biopsies on both sides because they found something on both sides, which is rare because usually when a woman gets breast cancer, it's on one side. It's very rare to see it on both. So by this time I'm thinking, so I said, what did I do wrong? They said, no, you didn't do nothing wrong. Miss Green had the biopsies. One of them, 2 different kinds, a different one over here than over here. And this other one over here was very painful. It was a pressure one where they put you in a vise and they said, we're going to send the results to your primary physician. My primary physician calls. Now, my daughter is at home from work. She's off that day. I was going to tell her because she's very tenderhearted. But to make a long story short, she said, "Ma, your phone is ringing." It was in the living room. I was in the bedroom. So she brings it back. She sits beside me on the bed because she wants to know. She said, "It's the doctor calling." So she says, "Cynthia, they said it is cancer."
Well,
So
let's go back to ask a couple of questions because you're at that time, were you 67?
I was 67. Yes, sir.
And you look amazing for 67. That's a goal. I can't
Well,
wait.
thank you.
7.
I work hard. I work hard for my youth class.
Yeah, there you go. And so I will imagine, have you had an annual mammogram every year?
Yes. Generally, I go every year and get one. When COVID came in 2020, I did not. Then 2021 came, I was still very guarded. So I did not. So I didn't do 2020, didn't do 2021. So I said was here for 2 years. And yes, it was. They said that I was a stage 2 going to a stage 3.
And so
With
what was going in your mind and what might you tell women about, because we were all in a pandemic and many of us were not checking in on our health because we were just concerned about going in offices and concerned about so many things. What would
I
you
know.
tell women and men now about waiting those 2 years?
I would say if you haven't had any screening that you normally do annually, get to it, because I guess something can occur within a 2-year time frame that they didn't see in 19. They didn't see anything. They didn't call me back for nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Did you have any pains, anything that you look back now? Are you looking back and saying, well, I did have some uncomfortableness, some soreness, anything that maybe
I never had any pain or anything except for I'm a side sleeper. So I started back with my tooth cleanings, all that. A lot of stuff I didn't do during that little time. Then they tell me it's the size of an apple almost. And I'm like, wait now, how could something be in me the size of an apple and I not know? They said, well, you are heavy busted. To make the long story short of that, they said, no, you have it. Now on the other side, that was a different type of cancer. One was a pattern, and another on the other side was just little. I didn't know this, but they say breast cancer is different for all women. There's different types of breast cancer. I had what you call HER2. I didn't have, a friend of mine had the triple something, hers was more aggressive.
Yeah.
I had a mid-aggressive kind. She had much more chemotherapy and everything than me. So that being said, there's also one that's just kind of just breast cancer, but that's like number 1. It's the one that's not too bad. But it also went into, it affected 2 of my lymph nodes. And that was bad, because if something affects anybody's lymph nodes, it can be bad, because your lymph nodes are drainages to your body and all this kind of stuff.
Before we go into the next section, we'll take a quick break and we'll
Okay.
be right back. We're talking to Miss Cynthia Green about her story of survival and resilience.
Okay.
HER2 positive breast cancer represents about 15 to 20% of all new cases of breast cancer. And in women who have HER2 positive breast cancer, and the occasional man, of course, who may have this, there are too many copies of the HER2 gene in the nucleus of the cancer cell, and that gives rise to too much HER2 protein on the surface of the cancer cell. As a result of HER2, the cancer cell is able to grow and spread and invade more readily. And HER2 is something that is very important for the cancer because it helps it survive and flourish, which is, of course, good for the cancer and bad for the patient. This used to be one of the worst subtypes of breast cancer. What has changed is that over the past 15 years, we have developed so-called targeted treatments for HER2-positive breast cancer. The first of those treatments is the drug trastuzumab, which a lot of people call Herceptin. All of these are very important drugs for HER2-positive breast cancer. Sometimes they're used alone. Most of the time, they're used in combination with other treatments, specifically chemotherapy or other forms of anti-HER2 treatment, and they can be very, very effective. And what has changed is that as a result of these treatments, there are more women with early stage HER2 positive breast cancer who are cured of their cancer.
We're here with Cynthia Horn, who has decided to share her story. And I'm hoping in her story, you will find your story and the story of the women and men that you love to help them be more aware about breast cancer. So we left off where you had gotten the diagnosis. They told you it was the size of an apple, and how would something be inside of you and you not know it right at that size? What were your thoughts? Seeing that now your mom has lived to be 93, your dad 66, you're in your 60s. What were you thinking about your life? What were you thinking about your faith and whether or not you would survive this diagnosis? What were your thoughts?
Okay, the first thing I always do when I'm in trouble is I say, Father, you brought me here. So it's a reason why I'm here. Now, when I would ask them, what did I do wrong? It wasn't like I felt I lived some kind of terrible life and now God is punishing me. It wasn't like that at all. It was just that, what did I do wrong that could have prevented this? So I also had a genetic test done to see if I carried the gene. I do not carry the gene. Unfortunately, I do carry the gene to get potentially ovarian cancer, the silent one for women. Ovarian cancer is one that you can come upon you and it can be stage 4 and you don't even know it, So a lot of women need to get screened for ovarian cancer as well. That's something I learned, but also something that I learned when they do a genetic analysis of all your genes. They wanted to make sure I wasn't passing this gene to my daughter or granddaughters or my son, because men can get breast cancer too. So thank you, God, hallelujah, I didn't have the gene to carry. And I didn't think I did because my mom, Now, so I went to God in prayer as humbly as I knew how. And I said, Lord, I know that you are Jehovah Rapha, God, my healer. But I always have gone to God concerning this vessel because he made it. So I'm very spiritual minded in that I'm connected to him very much so. So I don't want to get totally quoting scriptures and all this kind of stuff on here. But I just wanted to let you know that is and I'm not, once a cancer patient, unfortunately, you're always one. Because cancer is a funny thing.
Yeah. So
Yes.
whatever the formula or medicine or cure that is going to happen is going to come from, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm kind of,
You're right.
maybe that's what you were thinking. How critical was that to your support system in walking the journey?
Oh, I would have been a crazy person had I not known the Lord. If I wouldn't have had nowhere to go to, I would have been fearful and all this. And fear still comes to you because you're human, but you don't carry it. You cast it away from you. You cast it away and you say, okay, Lord, I'm going to walk in faith, not in myself, but in who he is. He's bigger than cancer. He made this entire universe and everything in it. So he has the power. Now, can he supernaturally heal me? Yes, I believe that. My thing is, he can heal you through the physician. See, because some people go through medicine and, do the doctor's thing and they still don't get healed. So he still is the healer by way of the doctor. The doctors, I look at them as his servants, that they serve us. And he's the chief physician on board. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that too in a minute about the processes of what happened. I don't know if you want me to go there yet.
Yeah. Right before you go there, we'll take a quick break because I do want to walk through your journey. What did your journey entail? The process that you said. We're talking to Miss Cynthia. We're back and we're talking to Miss Cynthia Horn. And I've been saying Green because that's what I knew to say. But she's going to share with us during this journey. Not only were you having a physical transition, you were having a relational transition. Can you talk to us a little bit about how during this time you ended up being divorced.
Yes, back in August 20th of 2012, my husband decided he didn't want to be married anymore. Didn't tell him about what was happening with me with my medical situation
So he
because I
didn't know
didn't.
that you had a breast cancer diagnosis.
He did not know.
Let's go back and talk a little bit about what this journey was, because now we see that you were in a support system with the guy, but not quite in a support system with your spouse because you all were separated. What was it like? What was prescribed to you? How many rounds of chemo and radiation? And what was that journey like for you?
Okay, initially I was prescribed that I was going to have 5 rounds of chemo, and it was going to be with 2 very strong drugs. Okay, so I went in and had the first one. To load up all that stuff in my body it was 4.5 hours. I never knew what this was. They had something hung up, and you got a shunt in your chest. I got a thing in my chest. I had to go to surgery, have this thing put in my chest where they just hook you up to it, and it'll come out whenever I'm all done. I never knew what it was to be infused. So it was very just a new territory that I never experienced. And so that was 4.5 hours to sit there. I was very sick. I thought sometimes you think the chemo drugs are going to kill you first because I wasn't sick before all this started happening. I wasn't sick. You say, and then you're so sick that you don't want to eat because it makes you nauseous, and you have fatigue, you have brain fog. I still have a little bit of that, but and you do things to strengthen that, but I don't have chemotherapy now, but I have immunotherapy, but I will get to that. But so you have all these drugs going in. That was just to load up. When they load up on the first one, they're putting an extra amount. Then the next one is only, instead of it being an hour, putting that one in, an hour, putting this one in it. Because they were putting in not only chemo drugs, but they were putting in the immunotherapy drugs at the same, but they can't put them in all at once. They have to put them in one at a time. Your body they have to load it in, infuse it into your blood. And so
This made you sick. So this was after you did the first one and you were so very sick. What were you thinking?
my daughter was my support person. She lives with me, and she is like my right arm girl, for real. She always has been. And I'm afraid for her because I'm
When you
afraid in
say
the
you're
sense
afraid for her, what do you mean?
well, in the sense that whenever it's my time to go, I told her, let me go and understand that our faith is that we'll meet up on the other side in glory, but we'll be different, but we'll know each other. I remember when she was in middle school, she used to say, "Oh, I love you so much." She's very protective of me and very just, people see us together. They say, you all have like the perfect mother-daughter relationship. You could tell she honors you so much. And then my son, he's the baby, but he's 6'5" and everything, but he showed things within himself as a son. See, a son and daughter convey different things to you. She's more the nurturer. He's more of this, take me to my appointment. Make sure I didn't have to drive to nothing, because when you get through having it, you're not going to want to drive or anything. And then you're sickly and all this. And then for like a whole week to 10 days, you're sick. You're having all these stomach issues. They give you all this medication for your stomach, and then you don't want to eat. Then they want you to eat because a person that's not eating, that's on chemotherapy, is very dangerous. Toothpaste, just in case. But I never had that, but my friend did. I didn't have that. My side effects were just the terrible stomach ache. I did throw up one time, but I found out why that was. You have to be careful what you're eating before and after and all. Well, the medicine, once it's infused into your body, it's in there. So when you go to the bathroom, it's in there. It stays with you. So the infusions are every 3 weeks.
Yeah. And so how did you keep yourself going? Because you said you have 5 rounds of it, or you were
Though I was initially scheduled for 5 rounds, we had to adjust the treatment plan when I developed early neuropathy in my feet. The doctor removed one of the chemotherapy drugs, and I continued with a modified treatment. Throughout treatment, they closely monitored my blood work, particularly my white blood cell count. When my levels dropped too low, we had to pause treatment. Eventually, after 4 rounds, my body wasn't bouncing back as it should. The doctors emphasized the importance of rest and proper nutrition, especially protein intake, to help my body recover.
I said, no. He said, well, people don't usually get it to the second or third. I said, well, I feel all this, like my feet are numb on the bottom and, and so he said, well, I'm going to stop one of the chemo drugs. So as a result, he stopped the neuropathy. He stopped the chemo drug that was causing neuropathy. And I never had 2 again anymore. That's another thing. I only had 1 going through to the end. Now, when we got, things started happening before they give you an infusion, they have to draw your blood, check it at the lab. They're checking your platelet levels. They're checking your white blood cells. Those are the fire cells. But if you get an infection, your white blood count cells are the ones that fight infection of any kind. So those were getting low. So then sometimes they say, well, they're low. Your body is so unique. It tries to restore itself. And they said, okay. So then they had only 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, yeah, for some reason, your body's not coming back. Are you getting proper rest? Are you eating your protein? Protein is very important when you're a cancer patient. Protein, a lot of people are properly protein deficient.
And I want to ask you about, so you got to wrap into the 4th round, complete the 5th round. Did they have additional rounds?
No, he stopped at the 4th round. Then they said, they had me do they checked, they gave me a scan or something. They were looking and they said, okay, we are amazed how that one drug shrunk those cancer tumors so much. So he used the word substantially. I said, well, I told you God is in this. You have this positiveness. I said, I don't want to say it's positive. I want to say it's faith, but maybe it is positive. And I refuse to be a downtrodden, feel sorry for me person. That's not my makeup. I'm the person to bring the light in the room and try to say, how you doing it? And put a smile on your face and make you feel at the end of the day.
So Cynthia, where does that light come from? I think I know, but I want to hear it from you. Where does that light come from that this positivity and things are going to be well? Where does that light come from?
Well, the scriptures say, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify who? Not you, the Father in heaven.
Yeah.
So the songs we sing, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, let it shine.
We're talking to Cynthia Horn. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk to you after the doctors were amazed about the shrinkage of these tumors. What was the next step and how you continue to go through that journey? I want people to hear about how the light that's within you help you to move forward. We're talking with Cynthia Horn. We're back and we're talking to Miss Cynthia Horn about her extraordinary journey just starting a year ago of this breast cancer diagnosis and how she is surviving and how the light that is emanating from within is shining on her journey, that you and I might learn from it and that we might carry it forward to others that are having this journey or may have this journey. So Cynthia, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
We talked in the last segment that doctors were amazed at how the tumors had shrunk based on the therapy. What happened after that?
Okay, after that, they said, now you have to go see the surgeon. They said, you have to go see the surgeon, which I had seen the surgeon to just meet him. But I'm thinking I was just going to get a lumpectomy. That's where they only take partial tissue. Well, after I went and everything, the surgeon, Dr. Michael Jacobs, he says, you need to have a double mastectomy.
Hearing those words, what did that do to you?
My daughter started crying. She's in the room. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be okay. By this time, He says it's an hour and a half surgery. Again, I'm still, when somebody's talking to me, I'm talking to God. There's a dual thing going on. So I'm hearing the doctor, but I'm still trying to hear the Lord as well. But I'm asking his reasoning for this, and he breaks it down that you have it in both sides. Because of that, we always do suggest a double mastectomy because of that. If you just had it on one side, we wouldn't touch the other side. But he said, since you have it both sides, plus it went into the lymph node, we don't know. See, they had done several scans prior to all of this to make sure that none of it had caught metastasized. I think that's what it's called, where it goes, cancer begins to spread through your body. It was not metastasized. It wasn't in the bones. I had checked my torso. And that was like the worst one because you're laying there for like 20, 25 minutes. But it's a hard, skinny table for a big woman. And I told them, listen, I need y'all to help me get up because I can't do no push-ups. I had all those scans. So when they did this final thing to look at me, they said they were really amazed how substantially the cells has shrunk. So then I said to him, well, why do you have to take it all off if they shrunk? He said, he tried to explain in his own layman way where I would understand that cancer, once you have cancer, it can be in there and it can try to be fierce and come back and all this kind of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff. So I said, okay. I said, I don't need them. That doesn't define me as a woman. Okay. I'm a woman, not by body parts. I'm just a woman. So I'm thinking it's going to be real simple. He told me, well, your arm where you had they didn't just take out the 2 lymph nodes that were affected by it, but they also took out several others. Under your arms, you have as much as 40 lymph nodes or something, I'm told. It was clean. They said that one was clean, so we know that it didn't spread anymore and all this stuff. So
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a little bit about something you said just a minute ago, that having your breasts don't define you as a woman. I marvel at that, of course, being a man, I couldn't know, right? But I would imagine women might have a certain connection of their breasts to being
absolutely.
and so
Some women.
contend with that. How did you contend with that?
Well, you're right. Some women, it's important to them, especially younger women that are still dating and looking for a love of their life and all this kind of stuff. And then just the fact that they feel they're not where I am. See, everyone's different how they perceive things in their mind. So my perception was, if it's going to save my life, I don't, and I heard the scripture in my mind, if your right hand offends you or something, it's just we cut it off. So I said, so they've offended me, so they got to go.
You got to go. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be easy. Oh, and I want to back up to the chemotherapy, if I may. The
Yes.
chemotherapy, after doing 2 rounds of chemotherapy, all my hair just came out. I was combing my hair and it was literally just coming out, just like you just stroke it. And so what I did, I had my son cut off the rest, and then he was in a picture with me. So we have to laugh even in the times of stress. You have to lighten it up because you can't just be doom and gloom. I appreciate it. His comicalness. He didn't mean it in a cruel way at all. He was just saying, look, you look like me for real now. So I had lost my hair. Then I had put all my hair in this plastic sandwich bag, this great big plastic, and I still have it. And I looked at it. I said, you can't put this back on. When all the hair came out and I go in the bathroom, I look in the mirror, I had a moment. I was like, oh, you just look like an egghead. And then you feel some kind of way. How people say, I feel some kind of way. So now I feel like, am I uncomfortable in my whole body? I don't feel like myself anymore. When I look in the mirror, now that I had the mastectomy, I said I thought it was going to be easy with that too, but it wasn't. What happened was, couldn't lift my arms up over my head. My range of motion was, my daughter I couldn't even get a plate off the shelf. My daughter had to help bathe me. I could wash the front, but she had to wash me off. I couldn't reach around. So I did several things to get the range of motion back. It was scar tissue. My chest felt like a board. I said to the doctor when I went to get my checkup appointment, I said, did you put something hard in my chest? He said, no, Miss Green. Well, at the time I was green, but he said, no, your muscles are hard like a rock. So that's the body's way of protecting itself. Whenever there's trauma to the body where muscles are, the muscles get hard.
Did you have some kind of reconstructive surgery, or they just
No.
okay.
And that was the question. He asked me, do you want us to do the surgery where you have reconstruction right side by side, where she'll be there in the room? Because I met the woman that would do it. And I talked with her. She said, some people do it because they want to have breasts. And he said, or if you don't want to have the surgery right there, I can leave enough skin so it can be performed later. I said, no, just take it off. I'm not going to, because I've talked to a few people, you can get skin infections, and any type of infection in a cancer patient can be detrimental. So I was afraid of that. And I said, well, at my age, I don't want to act like I'm an old woman. I'm older. Old is like, to me, 80, 85, 90. That's old. But it's still, you're still a valuable person. You're still here. I couldn't do it no more right now. And then when I see her recently, the doctor told me, yes, you can go, but your immune system is still challenged. So I don't want you to stay long. So my mom and I do Zoom calls, and she's very comical. She's always good. But I have to say this part. I told her what was going on. And she said to me, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. But she also said, I want you to just remember to believe.
Wow.
Believe for God's best. And I tell people all the time, isn't it interesting that my mother's here for such a time as this? I don't have to think about what mom would say. I know what she said because she said it to me. That was like the most valuable thing I can't express. And I'm sure you could probably imagine. You just can imagine that when you're going through, mama was there to tell you that. That is a blessing.
Yeah.
I had a lot of little nuggets of blessings like that.
Yeah. Before we come back to talk a little bit about because you're still in the journey, it's been a year. And so you're going through the immunotherapy. I want to talk a little bit about that. And then I want to talk about what you have learned, what you know for sure walking in the situation, and what you want people to walk away with understanding about you. We'll be right back. And Cynthia, I wanted to ask you, after the surgery, you had the mastectomy, double mastectomy, right? After that surgery, then you started radiation or immunotherapy. What was next?
Okay. He sent me to go talk to the radiologist. She was very sweet. So I said to her, now radiation is a little scary in the sense that you can be getting radiation and it can affect your lung tissue. Since I had on both sides and I didn't know where she was going to do the radiation. And she said, well, I was just going to do it on the right side where the most was. I said, okay, now that's burning my skin. That's going to be more, radiation is very serious. If you Google it, there's so many side effects to that too. So I said, I think my body's been mutilized enough. I said, then you talk about doing it. Now my chest hasn't healed. That's skin. So you're going to do radiation. So it just sounded like it didn't make sense. So I asked my primary doctor, why do they suggest radiation? But the radiologist said it like this. The reason why we suggest radiation is like, think of a snowball. That's the cancer. You've rolled the snowball up in your hand. Now you throw it. Now the snowball is gone, right? But look at your mitten. You see snowflakes. So we're trying to hit the microscopic possible cancer that's there. So I said to her, okay. She said, now after everything you've had done so far, the chemotherapy, the double mastectomy, you are now if you have radiation, that's only going to give you a 10% more chance that it won't reoccur. I said, only 10% and getting it. Yeah. So I said, well, you know what? I prayed about it before I came to see you, and I have a piece about this. I'm not going to do radiation. I will continue with the immunotherapy because that's at 18. You do 18 rounds of that. I have 4 more to go. And so I said to her, and she said, well, that's fine because you don't have to. She said, there's some people that go ahead and do the radiation. They still have a reoccurrence. There's some people don't do radiation and it comes back fierce. But by you having all that tissue removed, and he said it didn't cross over your chest wall because there's a wall they look at of your chest. You should be fine. And so I felt confident in that. So when I went to see my oncologist, I told him, he said, well, you're fine. He said, because you had a big surgery. And, I think that was a good call for you to say no radiation. Because like you said, it's just another step. They go into a room, they have a team of doctors talking, they have the residents there, the people that are studying to be doctors. They have your thing up on, use TV. They have your thing up on the thing, and everybody's looking at it and they're discussing what do you think is best for this patient. People raise their hand and say why. So it's a big thing when they're thinking about treatment that you're going to get, what level. So I didn't. I know it's taking a chance. My friend that I told you, she had a triple something cancer. She said, well, something, I just got it because I needed that extra layer. So now the immunotherapy is still cancer drugs, but they're not chemo drugs. They're cancer drugs. So they're still hitting any potential cancer that might still be in the body. It's just a regimen to do 18. I'm a person who asks a lot of questions. I think they got tired of me, but they don't act mean to you. They're very sweet. But they say, well, that's just regimen. And like I said, my primary physician told me, I said, well, I think I need a second opinion. He said, you can go get a second opinion, but I'm going to tell you something. It's going to, the next doctor is going to look at what's going on, and he's going to say, yes, it's probably right. Because it wasn't one doctor that decided your treatment.
Right.
It was a team of doctors that all conferred with each other.
Yeah. And so I want to ask you, as we prepare to close, and I want to thank you for this time. Your journey is continuing, and you've made some decisions about radiation that are best for you and continue with immunotherapy. I want to ask you, what do you feel like is the most important lesson that you've learned in this journey so far? Been a year and still on this journey. What's the most important lesson that you want to share with us?
I tell everybody, this is a faith walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's cancer. Cancer doesn't have me. I have cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
See, and so I know who my Heavenly Father is. I know He knows all about this body. I know this didn't catch Him by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
He knew I was going to get cancer. Mm-hmm. The blessing of it is they caught it in time. Because I'm going to just tell you, if they had told me it was a stage 4 and you have 6 months to live, then that would look different. Mm-hmm. That would look very different. Would I be the strong person? Would I feel so confident? I don't know. Because sounds like a death sentence, kind of like people that are diagnosed. So I tell people, go get checked so that early screening, it's true, is beneficial. Mm-hmm. The earlier they can catch something, the better. I see people younger than me that are gone, beautiful people. And I said, I wondered, what she die of? You don't know. Sometimes young people say, I'm not going to do that. But they don't realize what's happening in the body. And also our bodies, we look at our body as a whole piece, right? But our body is made up of millions and millions of cells. So when you eat, remember you're feeding that cell. Mm-hmm. Remember when we did biology or science back in the day, and they would tell us get to the nucleus of the cell and all that. That's what it's about. Mm-hmm. And so when I pray now, I say, Lord, I thank you for healing me to the nucleus of my cell. He made us. The Bible says it is He that has made you and not you yourselves. So we have to be submissive to Him and trust Him all the way. He's taught me in this journey of my life to trust Him more and to be able to share with others about the realness of God, because it's not just to say it, but I've lived it. I can tell you, if you just trust him, he knows the ones that trust him. He knows the ones that are just mouthing it and going through the motions. He knows that too. But I just pray that people will come to know the fullness of God truly, that
Yes.
he is real, and that everything he's given us in the word of God is his love letter to us. To let us know, I love you. I wrote this book for you. If you apply it to yourself, it will bring life to your body, even to the marrow of your bones. It will bring life to you. And I tell people, this is not about me. It's never about me. It's about giving God the glory in it all. Because at the end of the day, people say, oh, you were so brave. I said, I was only brave because he said in Isaiah 41:10, he talks about don't be afraid. I'm with you. So we have to remember to not be afraid.
Yes. I am appreciative so much. There is a woman or man who in October 2023 has received a diagnosis. Is there anything that you want to add to anything that you would have said to encourage him or her who is just beginning this journey right now?
Yes, number one, if you don't know God, cry out to God. He still hears you. He hears anyone that has, because he made us all. So cry out to God first. Then the second thing is don't complain. Because see, complaining, you lose your power, you lose you're digging a hole. Don't complain. Be grateful, that you've come this far. Find things to be grateful for. I was saying that for them to take it a step at a time, a day at a time, because you can't take it all in at once. Take it a day at a time. Then I had a cousin that was a nurse. She said, always think positive. So I guess positive is okay to use as long as you're not just trying to be positive. But I think of positive as not being spiritual enough. We have to remember that we're not just flesh and blood, but we are spirit.
I think you said, cry out unto God. And you said,
Don't complain.
don't complain, be grateful,
Be grateful.
and get into your
And stay
spirit man
positive.
leading you through, stay positive and get your spirit man leading you through the experience.
Yes, yes,
I think
yes.
all of that is great. And I know that your journey is still continuing, but that light that you have shining in you, Cynthia, I think has shown light for others to see how to go through something that, as you characterized it, is a dreadful disease. And I'm hoping that those that are watching and will watch will see your example and see your story where you say it's not about you, it's all about him. So I want to thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for being with us. And is there anything that you want to say before we close?
Yeah, a couple of things. I just wanted to say, make sure you have a good support system too. That's going to be very important. When you have people surrounding you, and you don't need but 2 or 3 good people that you can call in the case of a need that you have, whether to bring you a meal or take you to an appointment or wash your back or whatever the case may be. You have your support system in place. But I thank God for my son, my daughter, my son's fiance. She's super too. My mother, she gave the support from a place of where she's in a nursing home. But I tell people all the time, don't rule out the people in the nursing home. That there's a reason why they're still here. They can give you something. And I wanted to say another thing that I do, there's a Dr. Amy, she's a white woman. She talks about cancer and they say don't eat sugar because sugar fuels cancer and all these things. So I follow someone that you feel is reputable that can be a support also in that manner. Don't listen to everybody about cancer because it's not good. But learn how to eat right so that the cancer doesn't reoccur. Like eat protein, don't eat a greasy, junky food, and eat wholesome food mostly. Only maybe 5% have something that ain't beneficial really, but most of the time eat beneficially to keep yourself strong.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
And thank you. I was so afraid of this, but thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Oslam is my chemo doctor. He's the best. He's the best. If I miss an appointment, he calls me himself. He don't have his assistant. He calls, why you not here? Why you didn't make it to the doctor appointment? Is everything okay? Even when I was in the hospital, he would come from another side to come see about me to make sure that I was good. And even my plan to serve to Dr. Dr. C, he's the best. So anybody want to tell me he does all that. He's awesome.
Okay.
I love Beaumont. Borough is the whole staff, but just a good staff. It was awesome. Took me
Wonderful.
a care of me. Still to the day.
Wonderful.
So I want to ask you to kind of make a plea to people community, Sherry, that they will take some action this month. My concern is that we raise awareness and then November happens and we forget all about it, right? I want to raise the kind of awareness that creates action. So I want you to just look in the and talk to whomever's watching on or will watch on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitch TV or YouTube events or Twitter and tell them why it is so important for them to take action now.
It's really important, people, seriously, to stay on top of this because, especially for Black women and men, this breast cancer, like my mother said, it sneaks up on you. I had no idea. I had no symptoms, no nothing, no knowledge about this until I came home and bent over to untie my shoe. And it happened to me. And I was too scared to go get a mammogram because listen to grandma, no, they're gonna squeeze, they're gonna be real, they're gonna hurt you. It didn't afterwards. And I wish that I have done it way before this had happened to me. So it's very, very important to get checked. Stay on top of your children, your family, your friends. There's nothing just to talk about in October, like you said. This is something that is a daily talk, a weekly talk that you should be having in churches, in school, at work. It don't matter. Just keep talking and encouraging your people. Let's get checked so we can live.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you are living and alive and
Mhm.
looking well. And 57, I don't think it's low well. You look 57, you make it feel look like the new 27. And so,
Good man.
well, it could be my eyes, but that's what I'm seeing where I'm sitting. And I appreciate you taking the time because I know you're busy doing all of the things that you do.
Thank you for thinking about me.
I think it's so important. Again, I may not get to see Sean or see you guys as much, but I follow along. And when the diagnosis happened, I said, oh my God. But as I saw how the Lord was bringing you through and how you were just resilient. And as you said, Sean was there, your support system was there. I knew at some point I just needed to open up so that other people could hear because you hear breast cancer. And especially, as you said, for African American women and men, it for many is a death sentence for many. Especially if I catch it before stage 3 or 4 unstaged, right? And they don't because there aren't symptoms, right? And so you're not having pain, you're not from the normal course of living, just feeling, some kind of way or not feeling well. So the symptoms aren't there. And, we already, sometimes African American people scared to go to the doctor, right? Right. So there's so many barriers to people thinking about something that could really change the life, not only their lives, but their families.
Yeah.
And I think we have to do something about it. Encourage people to get checked out, and nothing better than to see someone who came through, as your doctor said, he put your report in and he took it out. And once he got to see and take it out, more people, he put them in than he took it out. So for people to see someone who went through that process, living and healthy and has a bucket list and is achieving those things on the bucket list. Yes. Did you have anything that you want to share with us before we go? Any tips that you would tell for women, for men?
Keep, oh, take care of your family. Encourage them to go get checked. Stop talking about it. Keep talking about it and keep pushing.
Yes.
Stay faithful. Stay prayerful.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Go.
All right. Thank you. Love you too.
Bye.
All right. What a warrior. What a blessing. And I know that every story doesn't have that same happy ending. But I'm glad that I could show you a story, share with you a story, help to facilitate a story of a woman who is blessed to be here, are blessed to be here, which means we should do something about it. I believe that we are blessed to be a blessing. And one way we can be a blessing is to get checked or to accompany our sisters, our mothers, our daughters, our cousins, our aunties, and them, our brothers, our uncles, our friends, to get checked out. Because the statistics tell us that, in particular, African American women are more likely to have fewer or no symptoms, but a more aggressive form of cancer. Statistics tell us, though breast cancer in men is very low, that most men will not go to get a mammogram. The choice is up to me and you. We can hear Sherry's story and say, great for her, and keep it moving. Or we can choose to use it as a catalyst to do something right now. Go to your physician and demand. Go to your employer and tell them that you are having trouble getting authorized for a mammogram. Demand that you have the test. The life you save or help to save may be your own. And you're not a life unto yourself. There are others around you who would be impacted by your diagnosis. No, we can't say that having the test means that you won't be diagnosed. But chances are that if there are early detections, that they can do something about it. Take Sherry's story. Her story through rounds of chemo that lasted 6 months, through sickness and needing assistance for daily activities of living, through 8 surgeries. And 7 years later, she is here. And if you are able to hear me, you are here. And I hope that you will do all that you can to treat your health as if it is wealth by getting checked out. I'm Marcus Holmes. I'm the love activist. I'm advocating for better love for you and me. Because once we get the self-love, we'll get the self-check happening. And today, befitting that it's Mental Health Day, that we'll take time to realize that our physical well-being impacts our mental well-being and vice versa. That if you are not physically well, it is bound to impact your mood and emotional wellness. And if you're not mentally whole or well, or emotionally whole or well, I want you to inbox me, or physically well, because within our Love and Stuff community, we have practitioners, psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists who are available and willing to help you move toward wellness. And there are sisters in the circle who, ladies, will walk with you through your journey. Fellas, walk with you through the journey to physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness. We only get the one life. In this life, I believe, And we might as well make our bucket list, on our bucket list, living well. I hope that you will click share, whether you're watching us from the Love and Stuff community here on Facebook, or if you're watching us from Twitch TV, Twitter, YouTube events. We were live on TikTok, had some challenges there, but we were there. That you will take it serious and share this with someone else. I just wanted to bring up the gratefulness journey every day. It is my personal journey through loss and grief, and how I found 3 principles that transformed my journey, and I know will transform yours. It is available. Today is day 1 of Early Prime Day. So remember, you can have that really quickly. And of course, you can get the ebook, but you will get the paperback. It's a short 70-page read, but it's power-packed with principles to help you live well and transform your life. And if you transform your life, you'll be transforming the lives of others. So I want to encourage you to get your copy during Early Prime Days. And I want to thank you for being here today. What an awesome testimony and opportunity to learn from the resilience and faith and hope of a strong woman who's connected to a wonderful husband and family who make a great support system. And again, if you're feeling that you don't have the support that you need, you should inbox us on Facebook at the Love and Stuff community, or on any of the other inboxes, and we'll connect you with practitioners who we think can help you really walk through your journey and move yourself to the wholeness that you deserve. I'm Marcus Holmes, the love activist, and I again say, I'm advocating for a better love for you and me. I know you want one, so click share, click the notification bell so that you will always be notified of what is happening in the Love and Stuff community, and great things are happening. Thank you so much for being here with us, and don't forget to click share.
It is an important conversation because about 1 in 8 women, about 13%, will develop breast cancer in their lifetime, making it the most common cancer among women in the United States, aside from skin cancer. And as it relates to 2024, approximately 310,000 new cases of invasive breast cancer and 56,000 cases of ductal carcinoma, in situ, will be diagnosed among women. And so, as you know, the entire month of October is dedicated to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And you just never know the phenomenal people that are in and around your circle who have contended with breast cancer, this horrible disease that impacts disproportionately African American women. But there are women who have stories of survival and healing and faith and joy and support. And so we are grateful tonight to have one such person here with us who is in and around our Love and Stuff community. And I'm so excited to bring her on to share her story. Now, I want you to click share. I want you to tag all of the women in your women's circle, all of the brothers, all of their husbands, all of your daughters, fellas, all of your cousin them, everybody around this topic of breast cancer, because it could impact you. And chances are, based on the statistics that I've shared, you already have been impacted by someone in your circle of love. And so I want everyone to tune in, because I don't want it to just be October where we raise awareness and where we raise hope and where we raise funds. I want us to build a sister circle that others can come and all year long be able to find the psychological, emotional safety and support that's necessary and needed for people to survive. And so it's my pleasure and privilege to bring on with me Izora Baldwin, who I've known all my life, or I better say she's known me all my life. And I am just honored that you would take some time out of your evening to share with us. Welcome, Izora, and thank you so much for being here.
Marcus, thank you. Thank you for even inviting me. I feel honored. Thank you.
Yeah, you have an amazing story. And I think some of your circle is joining, and I want them to join us live on the show. They're joining us backstage. So I don't want them to think I'm ignoring them. I won't be bringing them on, but they're backstage with you to cheer you on. So I'm grateful for that. And listen, Izora, I didn't even know. I know that, as I was sharing before, I knew that you had a diagnosis of MS, but I didn't know that you were a breast cancer survivor. So tell us a little bit about yourself, native Detroiter, of course, and take us back to when you got that first diagnosis for MS, because you were diagnosed and contending with and living through MS before this diagnosis. So tell us a little bit.
Well, I'm a native Detroiter. How I met Marcus is through our church, Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. We grew up there. I grew up with his older sister, Vanessa. We worked in a nursery.
Yep.
Going forward, when I first was diagnosed with breast cancer, that was in 2013. And of course, you get that news and you're devastated and want to know, why, Lord, what more are you going to put on me? 2005 diagnosed with MS, and now you're going to give me breast cancer too.
I want to jump in and ask you, Izora. So it was 2013, you said that you were diagnosed with breast cancer?
Yes.
And how did that come about? Did you have a lump? Did you go to the doctor? How did it come about?
Well, I work at a doctor's office. And in 2013, yes, I did a self-breast exam and found a lump. And so my doctor had me go do a mammogram. And then they saw a lump, then they had to do a biopsy. And that's when it was determined that I had breast cancer.
And when you got that news?
Yes, that's when I got the news. But it was stage 1, and thank God, because we caught it early. After that, then I had to go in and at Carmano's, and then they told me that they were going to have to do a partial mastectomy as opposed to taking the whole breast. But what that consisted of, doing a partial mastectomy, you're left, disfigured. One breast is larger than the other, so then you have to wear a prosthetic. But moving forward to now, what I'm going through is called lipotransfer.
Yes. And before we jump there, because you're moving kind of fast, Erica Hamilton is in the comments and said, "That's my mama, y'all." Yes, Erica Hamilton, that's your mama. And thank you for joining us, Erica. Click share and tag some other folks to join in this conversation. I'm sure you all are familiar with it. Shelly Solomon is here with us as well, Robin Brooks. Those of you across platforms that are here with us, people backstage commenting, even though backstage, we really want you in the comments on the live. I know Izora probably sent you all the links, but the one we want you to do is we'll take you to the live. But I wanted to slow it down a bit because I can only imagine having MS and then getting this diagnosis and them telling you, while we caught it early, we have to do a partial mastectomy. So I'm asking you then, Izor, what does that do to your thinking? How do you think? Because sometimes um, a woman, your femininity might be connected to the parts of your anatomy that are specific to a woman. How did that impact you knowing that you had to have a partial mastectomy?
It devastated me. I had a pity party. It made me feel that I wasn't going to be attractive anymore. No one was going to want me.
Mhm.
People might look at me funny, you know, or strange. So I stayed in that pity party for a long time
Mhm.
until Philippians 4:13 came to mind.
Mhm.
I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Yes.
And then I said, you know what? Enough is enough.
Mhm.
You don't have to let the disease control you. You need to
Mhm.
control the
Mhm.
um geez, so much, Marcus. I want to say, oh, this is one important thing I want to say though to women and
Okay.
who fathers that has prostate cancer. I was told that a male, if your father has prostate cancer, that would lead to a female having breast cancer. It's a precursor to a female having breast
Mm.
cancer, daughter.
Wow.
My dad had prostate cancer. And so that was an eye opener right there. I'm like, because I never knew that. And I'm quite sure plenty of women don't know that, you know? So they need to
Mhm.
ask their parents about their history, cancer. And if their father has prostate cancer, you definitely need to get checked out.
Mhm. So they should know their family history because you might have you might be I can't think of the word that
But
Mhm.
we are really fortunate that we have friends, family, and their friends, and folks who we got gifts from people even across the pond that saw our, we're trying to get the word out about the work that we're doing, and people want to get engaged and support it. And so we just are so grateful that you afforded us this platform to talk about our popcorn sale, but also a little bit more about the Whitmore Project and my journey. And I saved to this audience, if you ever need a great prayer, Marcus Holmes has a great prayer. He can give you a great prayer. I have one that I have starred in my text messages that he sent me, and I've never deleted, and I listen to it. So um, I hope people learn that even the smallest things that people can do, even with a text, a voice note, how it can support someone when they're on a cancer journey. Yeah.
Wonderful. And I have the QR code that's up there. If you want to scan the QR code, anybody that's here, of course, it's going to circulate throughout Facebook because we want to do all that we can to support the Whitmore Project, which is a phenomenal representation of
Thank you.
God's ability to take pain and turn it into purpose and give you dividends of resilience. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big message that I want people to hear about you, Lisa, and the Whitmore Project, that God has used something that would be horrendous to most, and maybe it was horrendous to you, but he used that and used you in it to show that he can bring you back. He can bounce you back. He can bounce you forward. And so I know there are tons of women in and around the Love and Stuff community and throughout the various platforms who are contending with health challenges or who don't know how to speak up, right? Who haven't found their voice around their health, mental wellness, health, physical wellness, health, spiritual wellness, and haven't found their voice to speak up. And they're going to hear you and hopefully come to the screening and find their voice to be able to be as well as God has made you. When you think about this Whitmore Project, when people go to the screening, what do you want them to walk out of the screening? There's some art to this documentary. If I know you, there's art to everything that you do, but you want them to walk out saying, feeling, believing, doing what, Lisa?
If you haven't had your screenings, go. And breast cancer, for example, doesn't just affect women, it affects men as well. Beyonce's dad, he had breast cancer. Several men, high profile men, have had breast cancer. So they can have it as well. But for women, especially, find out if you have dense breasts. That's just a baseline question that I think all women should learn. I learned it once I was in breast cancer. I wish I had maybe known it prior. Know your health history. If you can't talk to your family members about your health history, try to get genetic testing. That will tell you if you have the various markers for different cancers in your health DNA. And also listen to your body. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. And lean into your faith. Lean into being optimistic. Even though you could look at this as the glass half empty, the glass was half full because they found it early. That in spite of it being ugly, they found it early. Early detection, really, we can't say that enough. Early detection makes a difference. But if you don't get it early, find doctors that will work with you. Make sure you're going to, a cancer center like we have here in Detroit. We're so lucky. We're so blessed that we got Carmanos. I'm a Carmanos girl. You got Henry Ford. You have, we have University of Michigan. You can even go to Cleveland Clinic. University of Chicago is where my mom got her cancer treatment because I'm from the west side of the state. There's so many great spaces where you can get good health care for this journey. But the first key thing is with you. Listen to your body and don't be a Dr. Dodger.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the showing in August in the Hamptons. That is what a high honor that is.
Oh my
How
God.
can people follow you and the Whitmore Project? Where should they get connected with you?
Yes, we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. I think I need to get on Stitch from what I'm hearing here today. But the Whitmore Project, just like my last name, Whitmore, Whitmore, the Whitmore Project. And there I'm always putting new information, resources, but also what we're up to as well. And I'm just really excited about, of course, Martha's Vineyard. That's just a kiss on the cheek from the Lord for the film. We still have our fingers crossed that we'll get selected for the Detroit Free Press Film Festival. We've submitted to numerous film festivals around the country, but from what I'm talking with other filmmakers, it takes time for people to know and for you to get picked for a film festival, especially when you're a small indie project like mine. But nevertheless, if there's a screen and somebody will let me show it, I'm gonna show it.
Wonderful. Lisa, thank you so much for coming on. I wish you much more success with the Whitmore Project. I know that it birthed out of something that was tough for you to go through, and it was tough to watch you go through it. But I'm so grateful that you are on the other side of it and able to stand so that everyone can hear what God has done and is doing through you. So congratulations on this project. You can connect with her on all platforms. Please support the Double Good Popcorn. Get you some popcorn. And if you can't, go to the other link that we have posted to donate so that we can make sure that everybody knows to think about yourself. I love that you were able to. And I think that's something about the self-love that we get. I think
yes,
the quintessential love, who is God, is one that many people seek to love. And then everybody seeks to love somebody else. That's what everybody's looking for. But very few people focus on what God said hangs on these two commandments, hang all the law and the prophet, to love me with everything you got and your neighbor as yourself. So if you don't have the self-love part in there, that's the neglected love. And we often neglect our health and the signs that our life is telling us about our health, and neglecting to spend time where we think it's selfish when it's really self-love. It's really your gratefulness and your worthy, your love speaking to your worthiness. That's what that self-love and self-care really is. But
Yeah.
so often we neglect it because
Yeah.
we are trying to care for everybody else. So I hope that people will glean that part from your journey, this powerful journey, that at some point you do have to turn inward and say, well, if not me, then who? And who will say me if I don't first say me? So I love that for you. And I love that for everybody that I hope will be connected to this project. So thank you so much for joining us
Thank
here
you.
tonight. This has been an amazing show. And I hope that many people will join in supporting. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much.
I've been blessed to meet some incredible, incredible people. And along this journey, some of them have had an incredible journey through cancer. And you just got a glimpse of Mashera and of Izora, a little bit more from Lisa, and a lot more from Cynthia. But all of these ladies are women of faith, women of resilience, women of character, women who are mothers and wives and grandmothers and sisters and daughters, women like many of you, and fellas like many of your wives and sisters and daughters and mothers, who were going about their lives, living their lives, and some moment, some event, some pain, something felt off that they hadn't even thought might be breast cancer. And that can happen to any of us. And I want for all of us to take heed that we have a part in raising awareness, and not just October 1st through October 31st. No, we must raise this awareness every day. You know, we're living in a world, particularly in America, where the basic rights, including those of healthcare and access to it, and good healthcare where there is a dialogue between doctors and patients, is under attack. Some would say under siege. That what many other countries, some of them smaller and less developed, consider a basic human right, is under attack for basic humans. That the hospital care, the healthcare system is almost stacked against those who don't find their voice to advocate for themselves. Everyone should have an advocate in healthcare. But the reality is we're under a presidency and or a regime that is disregarding that very infrastructure. And if you don't believe it, pay closer attention to what's happening in the news around healthcare. Pay very close attention to who is being placed in cabinet level positions without qualifications. Be very careful to understand that there is an agenda, and it is not for the benefit of the underrepresented and the marginalized. No. Healthcare, a basic human right, is under siege. Layer onto that there are so many forces, some of them systemic, that negate the value, the worth of Black and brown people, particularly in this country. We have to advocate for those who don't feel the power to raise their voices. My beloved sisters and brothers, if there is an ache or pain, if there is history in your family, I want to encourage you to join me in checking yourselves out and getting others in your family checked out and having these conversations, whether they're around Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner tables, or whether they're around coffee on a Saturday morning or brunch on a Sunday. Ask someone, have you been checked out? Are you afraid to go to the doctor? Are you afraid to raise your voice? I'm here to help you and to go with you. Let's be partners in our community, partners in our circle, so that early detection is something that's happening all the time, that we can get the care, that we can get the healing, that we can get to the cure that we need. I'm so grateful that whether you're watching on TikTok or on Facebook Live, on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube events, that you have joined tonight. I just ask that you start this conversation in your own circles with your own families, that we all need to be looking out for our health. Health is wealth. And as soon as we accept that, the better off we'll be. Thank you for tuning in. I forgot to say LinkedIn. Thank you for being here. And I appreciate all of you. Why don't you take a moment right now to click share? Tag 5 of your closest connections, followers, subscribers, and friends. 5 of the more popular ones to keep this discussion going so that awareness is happening every day and not just 1 month of the year, so that we are doing the work. There are some amazing organizations out there, and we want to shout them out, including the Whitmore Project, which I invite you to follow. Lisa Whitmore is doing an amazing job with her project. And many other organizations are out there. But I want to also speak to the everyday person like me. What can we do more to raise awareness? It's high time that we lift our voices for health. I'm Marcus Holmes, the love activist. I'm advocating for better love for you and me. And that means that the quintessential love, who is God, he is love, has written love chapters about us that we might find our path to loving him. And then he says to love your neighbor as yourself. Most people are searching to love the neighbor, the boo, the bae, the partner, them. I'm going to say them, family. But what about the self-love? Because out of this love is how you love everybody else. And so love and stuff isn't just concerned with the mushy love, as some might say, with your boo or your bae. We're concerned about the entire holistic approach to love. And if there's any area of your life in which you could up your love game, I want you to find us on the Love and Stuff community platform. We have a Love and Stuff community page, and go to that page and click the notification bell, because anytime that there's content happening there, or we're going live, or we're having events, we want to keep you abreast of all of the wonderful things and wonderful people that are within the Love and Stuff community, all in the hopes to just bring positivity to your day and to help you up your love game. I don't know about you. I could use more love amongst coworkers. I can use more love amongst family. I can use more love amongst those that choose to love and that choose to love me. And if that resonates with you, then I want you to join me on an extraordinary journey to better love. We will see you soon.
Yeah. 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 Oh. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Born and dead, saved by are blessings from above. Though in darkness, have no fear. Light will shine on those holding near. They know that sorrow they will pass. For I know in this life there will be something. But remember that love, yes it will. Love will reign. Yeah. Love will reign. Yeah. In my heart, I believe it. Love will reign. Oh, yeah. Yes. Have a vision. It's clear and plain. People living life, smiling again. Oh, see the children, they know no pain. Far from pressure, stress and strain. Oh, sorrow, they will pass. For I know in this life there's gonna be some pain. But remember that love, yes it will. I know. Yeah. Love will reign. Gotta believe it. In my heart, I truly believe. Sun will shine again, and love, I can hardly wait. We'll all be together. There'll be peace, peace, sweet peace, happiness and joy One day, someday,